Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. With your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you this morning. We are taking lessons in trading earnings this morning, specifically Walmart and Home Depot. We also had Kohl's, but we're definitely going to start with Walmart here this morning. If you're watching that this morning, if you're trading it this morning, some valuable lessons to take away from the post-earnings trading action in Walmart. So we've got that. We've got Oracle on our radar. They're in the TikTok fray now. We've got a couple offerings on our radar as well. And our guest, it's going to be a fun show today. Kenny Glick, which runs at 8:35. He runs hitthebid.com. So Dennis is fired up. Joel is fired up. We got Kenny coming on later in the show. It's going to be a big one. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate that. And I'll throw it to Joel now, who will share his charts and tell us what is happening overnight in the S&P 500 futures. Joel.
We're not even going to talk about the S&P 500 futures today. We're not going to talk about gold. We're not going to talk about crude.
I like this show.
Yeah,
I already like this
show.
I'll come in early if you're not going to talk.
Yeah, forget about it. No one cares.
Who cares about futures moving around 0.15%? We care about Tesla moving up 5%. We care about, all these retail earnings is ripping higher, and not so much now, but we care about the movers. We don't care about the S&P futures up 0.15%. I like this show now.
Right. Well, Dennis has his number one golden rule for trading Walmart.
I made a new rule for page 8 of our trading book.
Okay.
I made a new rule. And the rule is forever and ever and ever, no matter what. You never pay up 9 points for Walmart for any reason whatsoever. I don't care if Warren Buffett takes over the company. You don't pay up 9 points for Walmart. Walmart, not that I did it, but I wish I would have shorted it. I moved on and I wasn't paying attention. Joel was paying attention and he was tweeting like crazy on it. This thing on the earnings traded over 144 this morning. What the hell are people doing? This is Walmart, people. This isn't Tesla. This is Walmart. It's not going up 7% on that report. Anyways, an hour later, good call, Mr. Elconin. He was tweeting sell, 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 basically. And I don't know if he did sell, but I should have been listening to your tweets because it was a good call. Stock is now just kissed red. It is back to the green slightly, but giving it all back, not surprisingly, because it's Walmart. I mean, yes, the earnings were good, but everybody knew they were going to be good. And it ran up $3 into the report. And then they buy it up another 9? I don't know. Anyways, whoever bought it up 9 this morning isn't listening to pre-market prep. Up 9 points for Walmart. So write this down. Never pay up 9 points for Walmart, no matter what the hell the reason is. It's too much. Walmart doesn't go up 9 points. Very, very seldom.
All right, Mr. Israel, give us that report.
You want the numbers? All right, Q2 adjusted earnings per share, $1.56 for Walmart versus $1.25 estimate. Sales, $137.7 billion versus $135.3 billion. So they beat on the EPS. They beat on the sales. E-commerce sales in the U.S. grew 97% year over year. Overall, U.S. comps grew 9% year over year. Good numbers, like Dennis said. Everyone knew there would be good numbers. This was not going to be a secret.
I was in shock when I watched it go through 140. And then it went 141, 142, 143. And I was like, I don't know anything. I was like, I cannot believe they're paying up 7-8 points for this. And they ended up paying up over 9 points. Now, obviously, they've pulled the rug out from under it now. A little bit of sense comes in and says, hey, maybe Walmart's firing on all cylinders because people were stocking up, for one thing. We knew it was going to be a good quarter. Costco, same thing, killing it. Home Depot, same thing, killing it. And, Home Depot, they paid way up for it, too. Same story happening there. I'd be very concerned, it's Home Depot up $2.76 here right now. That they don't pull Walmart here. Now, again, Walmart's back. Should it be green? It was a good quarter. So I'm not arguing it should go down $10 here today. I'm just arguing if you're paying up 9 points for Walmart, you better have, just a very, it better be something. I mean, I guess on that Amazon Prime competition thing, I guess it went up almost 9 points that day, which I felt was ridiculous too. But this is a very big stock. Takes a lot of money, during the regular session to push Walmart up that much. So a little pre-market volume, pushing it up 9 when it's lighter and it's trading around 7 a.m. doesn't make much sense.
Well, another thing, I was watching it go through the levels, 41, 42, 43, and then on CNBC, they're like, oh, could you bring up the Walmart chart? It looks, oh, wow, it could be up $10 today. And I'm like, oh, man.
As soon as they said that, I
was like,
who said
oh,
that?
Man.
Who said that?
It hit 44.
Was that Kernan said that?
I don't know. I can't remember who said it, but they were like, oh my God, they didn't know what to do. They need to get the pre-market chart up there. And then so when they hit 144.69, I'm thinking, well, 145, that's kind of a nice round number, maybe that'll be it. And then when it was like $1.50 off it, like right away, then you kind of got the instinct like, okay, someone got a little bit too excited there. And then I started thinking about the paper in the book, right, between the close and, 145. And there'd probably be 800 zillion thousand shares, right, to sell for never being up that. So then I didn't think it was going to close over 140 or open over 140. And now it made that. I don't know what's going to be the regular session. It's green right now. I would just keep an eye unchanged. If it stays unchanged, it could work its way up, but there's no way. I mean, it may never see 144.69 again.
Joel says forever and ever.
Ever trade.
That's the all-time high forever and ever and ever. Well, we don't know. We'll never say never, but I will say you have a lot of people caught here this morning. People are like, oh, that's a good earnings report. I got to go buy it. People who don't listen to the show because we talk about running up into earnings. We talk about, hey, and you know what? I hope some people maybe took it long into the report and maybe dumped it this morning.
I hope so.
That would have been really good play. I didn't have the guts to take it long because I was scared that had run up too far. And then it was up 2 points even ahead of the report last night. I thought about shorting it, but I was like, they are going to blow it away. Could it see 140 if they blow it away? It could. I didn't think it was going to see 144. It's way overdone. But Home Depot, same story. I mean, Home Depot, really same story.
Yeah,
firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
The stocks run up into the report significantly, running up $10 yesterday.
Oh,
and then it and it tries to go up this morning. How high did we get on HD? We got D up there. I want to see HD.
Yeah, I know. HD.
Almost 300.
Yep.
300 will just have everybody lined up there. So unless you have this mass turn back into big box retail here, I think that the trade is to sell this too on the report because I'm scared of what Walmart did. So if Walmart turns and they start to bring it back up, maybe it's interesting. I don't know. It's only up 230 now, so it's getting back $8 of the gain. So if you're shorting it here now, it's like, okay, now you've already given up 8 points. But when it was up 10 this morning after being up 10 yesterday, a lot of good news baked in. What was the numbers, Spencer?
Numbers for Home Depot were surprise. They were great. Q2 EPS $4.02 versus a $3.71 estimate. Sales 38.1 versus $34.5 billion. So very big beats for the EPS and sales. Comps also beat as well. This is U.S. comps or same store sales rose 23% year over year versus 10% estimate.
So there you go, Home Depot. I think the money was made this morning. The people who were selling on the 10-point pop after the 10-point pop yesterday. This is Home Depot again. This isn't Tesla. This isn't your hot little tech stock. This is Home Depot. It's been a good run. It's been an impressive run. It was going to be a great quarter. All that priced in. I think the easy money's been made on the long side in both these stocks. I don't know if you're ringing the register when they're flat, but I don't think it's getting back to 298.
No, it's a ways away. And it's kind of interesting here. Look at my upper left chart here. Someone is defending the stock here. I mean, in a big time way in the pre-market. I mean, they want to own this thing at 290.50. They were 290.54. They were at 290.76 for 3 15-minute brackets after an 8-point drop to stay in bid there like that. They want to own it. Maybe they shorted 10,000 shares up here and that's their target. But you got to hold there. I mean, that's a good look at a 15-minute chart. I don't like to go too short a time frame on you guys, but 290.54. That's the trap door in this. Underneath that, then you look at the close of 288 something was the all-time closing high, 288.24. So keep levels on that. It's just a different looking chart here than the Walmart, right? Like no one got brave here the way down. Maybe they are now. Maybe we'll find some stability. That's a bad print when it went back up to 143 like that. I don't know.
That's not there. So you can say,
oh,
you got a second chance, but you have these off exchange trades that are happening that report late to the tape. And that's what you're seeing with these spikes up in the Home Depot, Walmart. I was looking at it. There was a whole bunch of late reports that came in right around 8 o'clock. You typically see a lot of late reports come around 8 o'clock. So when you see these crazy spikes, sometimes in the pre-markets right at 8 o'clock, those are just late reports coming in. So, and the systems, the trading systems pick up those and they think they're active trades, but they're not. The trades that happened earlier and they're just getting reported late to the tape. So it's different. When you see FINRA, when it's trading on FINRA, those aren't always immediate. A lot of them are. If it's off exchange market makers, they report those immediately to the tape, but this is crosses, different things. They aren't all the time immediately hitting the tape. And that's why when you see FINRA, sometimes it's outside the market. It's a trade that occurred earlier. So that's the Walmart story. That's the Home Depot story. We do have Target and Lowe's, both trading miraculously higher. What I found was incredible was Lowe's. At one point in time, Home Depot was up 3%. Lowe's was up 3.5%. So they like the sympathy trade more than the company that actually beat. And same thing with Target. And Target right now is up more than Walmart. So Walmart's the one that blows it away, yet Target is up more than that. So that's interesting in itself. I mean, the hedge I always used was usually you see a Target will move about half as much of a Walmart on the earnings. In this case, it's moving more. So that's interesting too. Again, Target's been on an incredible run too. I bought Target, sold it obviously way too soon. I bought it when it dipped back in April. I almost got the exact bottom at $100.50. And I sold at 120 when it ran for a month. And I was like 20% in Target in a month is a good trade. It consolidated for 2 months and now it's run another 20%. So obviously wish I would have held, maybe buy and hold, maybe that Warren Buffett knows something. But I mean, it's run now. If you're coming in Target, you're coming in Walmart, you're coming in Home Depot, stocks have all priced in a lot of good information. So I don't know if there's that much easy money left in these stocks on the long side. Obviously, when's Target report?
Tomorrow morning.
Target will move though. Target moves more than Walmart. It's not absurd to think that Target can move $6-7. So I'm not going to write the rule book. If Target's up 7, you always sell it. Walmart, I will write that rule. Walmart up 7 or 8, it's usually a sell. So Target, it can move. Obviously, it's going to depend on what Walmart, but now Walmart set the bar a little bit higher for them too. It'll be interesting to see what Target says.
Okay, what of the 7 stocks do you want me to cover that you just talked about there?
Well there was 2, Target and Lowe's, because I'd cover Walmart and Home Depot.
You waited a couple others. But
Follow
Spencer,
me along.
You take the wheel, Spencer.
All right. Well, let's go with Target here. And you want to give us some levels on that for tomorrow morning?
Okay. Boom. I mean, I would just go with that high. You hit 142.75 pre-market trading. So I'll just keep an eye on that. I mean, it had a nice run yesterday after report. I think you'll see a little bit more consolidation in this. Even yesterday's high of 141.60, if you feel like you have to sell the all-time high, that's a couple intermediate
140 is going to maybe have some size.
Yeah.
I don't have the book open. If JV Specs there, maybe he can take a look. I should open my book and just take a look at what's 140. What we mean, Joel was tweeting out, when we say paper, we mean size. It means is institutional orders potentially at those numbers where they can turn. And the reason the whole numbers are the case, because that's where you got open interest on the monthly strikes. So a lot of times you'll see stocks turn at these big whole numbers because everybody's got the 140 calls. That's where they're going to be making the money. So now again, Target hasn't reported yet. So, so it's a little bit different story because there's going to be an earnings report that's going to drive it either way. But I don't know. It hasn't been up here. I don't think it's ever been up here at 140. So I would assume there's some size at 140. I'm going to look while you do your technicals on Lowe's.
I did it. I did technicals on Target.
Lowe's.
And what about Lowe's?
I'm ahead of you.
This is also for tomorrow morning.
Well, yeah, they've already reported. They've already got the pop. Lowe's likes to do crazy things. I'll tell you right now. This one, up 8, down 8, whatever. I would just mark that pre-market high, 164.49. You've already leaked $4 off that. $3.50, I think you're going to have to pick a target ahead of that if you want to exit before the report. Of course, anything can happen on the report. When we were talking about Walmart yesterday, I was like, I don't know. They're going to have good numbers. Why do you want to sell into good numbers? And I thought that they get the good numbers, and then the big boys would feast in the pre-market. That's what happened with Lowe's. It just has its own mind. And full disclosure, I own Lowe's from really low. I think I own this. I think I've had.
You got all the good ones. What stocks are in your long-term portfolio? Name off
not all the good ones.
Holdings.
You always ask me this.
Tesla.
You always ask me this.
WDC
I don't look at them every
Joel
day, Dennis. That's why I don't sell them.
Joel, you sold WDC at the top.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Dennis,
You're
I
all
don't look at
over
it. You look at it, you get all nervous and you sell it. I just don't look at it. I'm just saying I'm not going to sell it.
I'm good at the short-term trading. You rock the long-term trading.
Oh,
what do you got in your portfolio? You got Tesla. You got Peloton. You just told me you bought Lowe's. Where did you buy Lowe's?
I'm not going to tell you.
No, you got to tell.
It was like 3-4 years ago.
What price? 3-4 years ago. You're just killing it.
I don't.
Dennis, most of us don't remember the prices that we buy things at like you.
I know. I'm a numbers guy.
The one that's been a little bit disappointing for me is Dexcom.
Dex, you have Dexcom?
Yeah.
Where'd you buy that one?
Oh, I don't know.
$100
years ago.
$50.
3-4 years ago.
Holy, is this all Lisa picks? Is it really Lisa?
Yep.
Is she the brains behind the operation?
Yes.
Holy mackerel. Lisa, get Lisa back on the show. And not to talk COVID. We're going to get Lisa to talk stocks because she has some miraculous picks here. This girl is good at this game. She's good at long-term investing. I suck at long-term investing. I don't know. I sell too soon. I pick the wrong companies. I do fundamentals. You can't do fundamentals. You can't analyze things from a valuation perspective. So I want to get Lisa back on the show and tell why she bought Dexcom, why she bought Lowe's, why she bought Tesla, because these were all unbelievable picks. And
there's one of them that she bought, and I got to get her back on the show.
Just L brands.
Oh, you know what she bought when this was a while ago when Bill is it still around? IRBT, how's that doing? That's not doing so good. But when Bill Santiago was on last, she picked that one up for a little bit. I think she got that around 50 or 50.
Which stock was that?
iRobot.
Oh my goodness. She bought it when I sold it. I sold it at the bottom, basically. Lisa picks it up and she's like, Denny's selling, I'm buying. I did. I sold my iRobot really crappy. I sold it before that earnings report, like $58 and went to 80. I was like, man, I suck at this.
Joel,
I'm pretty good at trading,
yes.
but I cannot do the long-term investing very well.
Michael Pliny says to ask Lisa about TTOO. I guess we want.
We are bringing Lisa. We're gonna have Lisa's corner. She's the
TTO.
It's Lisa coming in now. We're bringing Lisa in. She's coming in for stocks.
She would say, I don't buy penny stocks. Is what she would say.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
She buys $50 stocks that turn into $500 stocks. That's what
let's
Lisa
move on.
buys.
Let's move on. Come on.
Okay.
Come
Oh, she's good. This is a good segment. Does
I
she
don't
own
wanna tell you
Overstock
about-
too?
I don't
Does
wanna
she own
tell you about
Overstock?
Gold,
If Lisa owns
GOLD.
Overstock, that's gonna be. Does she own Overstock?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say if she owns Overstock, she's an absolute genius. She might be
No.
the smartest girl in the whole street.
Right.
Overstock, unbelievable move yesterday too. New highs. You could just feel it happening. I know people were saying on the show. I talked about it yesterday. I was like, man, I don't want to be short this stock, and it blasted off yesterday to new highs. I don't even know what to say. I mean, we're a little bit like it's 1999 for some stocks. Let's be dead honest. I know people don't want the history lesson here, but I want to tell a story. This is, how it was in 1999. I'm going to tell you about my Tesla trade too. So 1999, I'm starting in the Bright office, just learning, kind of, how to go about, I'm coming from retail. I traded retail 97, 98, joined Bright trading as prop in 1999, just after university. I'm trying to find my way. And, I'm trying this and trying that. I'm watching this Todd guy, beside me. And this is 1999. And what he did, he would buy Amazon in the morning and he would sell it in the afternoon and he'd make $5,000. And he'd next day buy Amazon in the morning, he'd sell it in the afternoon and he'd make $5,000. And I was like, this guy is just awesome. I'm like, this is just, how does he do this every single day? Just rocking it out, making 5 G's in Amazon. And that went on for a long time. And I don't know where Todd is now. But, you know, I watched and I was like, I'm just like, wow, you know, these Momo plays, this is the way to do it. So anyways, obviously after 2000, 2001, it did become not become that easy after the tech bubble crash, but that's how it was back then. It's kind of that way in certain stocks right now, like Tesla. So here's my trade from last night using the Todd from Bright strategy. I'm looking at it. I'm like, it's trading at 7:59, a minute before the 8 o'clock close last night. It's trading 18:35. And I'm like, I look at it, I was like, it's probably going up 100 points tomorrow because that's just what it does. So I bought it at 7:59. I bought Tesla at 18:35. I think actually it was trading down. I think I actually might have even bought in the red like at 18:34. And I shut down, went to bed, wake up about 5 in the morning to go pee, and I look at Tesla and it's trading 18.90. I was like, ooh, I guess it's pretty good. Went back to sleep, wake up at 9:30, or not 9:30, it's not 9:30. I wake up at 6:30, get to my desk, Tesla's up 100 points. And I was like, sell. So I literally made 100 points on Tesla while I was sleeping, and thought mindless trading, just, you know, probably going up 100 because that's what it does. It goes up a bloody 100 points every day. I mean, when it's this easy, that makes me a little bit concerned, but I'm doing it now. I try to do arbitrage. I'm doing these crazy strategies, you know, looking index arb, using algorithms. And the easiest strategy up there is just buy Tesla at the close and sell at the open the next day and bank 100 points. I mean, I don't know how long that goes on for. And this story I don't know where Todd is today. I don't know how this story ended for him. But I mean, this was, you know, the way it was in 1999. And it's kind of the way it is today. NVIDIA can go into that same book. I mean, NVIDIA's now, it's kissed up to 500. We talked about it a week ago.
So hard to pick a target in it, you know? I mean, so Aaron Williams, who dropped a 10 spot on us, is asking for sell before earnings and hold. They ran, I'm like, you got yourself into this, Aaron. I mean, what the heck? I mean, what do you have a target? I mean,
I said 500. That was my target.
Yeah.
So I think he does. If you're listening, I was 440. I was like, I think NVIDIA's going to 500. That was 4 days ago. I didn't think it was going to get there in 4 days.
Crazy.
It got there in 4 days. I mean, I picked the wrong one because I do the call spread AMD. I should have did it in NVIDIA. So my AMD hasn't gone hardly anywhere. So I don't know what the separation all of a sudden, maybe because I picked AMD. But I mean, unbelievable that, you know, you can see NVIDIA, like it went up 20, so yesterday, you know, and obviously we're going lots of tangents, but it's kind of fun. Yesterday you had who gave it the $500 price target? They raised the price target from 450 to 500, Spencer. Go check the Pro. Nice thing about Pro, you can check all this stuff.
It was Piper Sandler.
Piper Sandler raised the price target from like
No, it was Wells Fargo. Sorry.
Wells Fargo from like 450 to 500. The thing does it in a day. I mean, he's raising his price target. These are usually 12-month price targets, not 12-hour price targets. So, and then people that see this, it's going to 500. Wells Fargo said so. We're going to buy it up to 500 right now. You know, forget about 12 months. We're going to buy 500 right now. It's $500. It was $460 yesterday.
Can I just give another bright story?
Yeah, give the.
There was another guy in the office. I'm not going to name his name, and he would come in every day, and he would short AOL, and he would lose $5,000. And he would come in the next day
and lose
and he would short AOL, and he would lose $5,000.
What was his first name? Maybe he can't, because some of these people might listen to the show.
I don't want to give names here. And
okay,
then
I know. I gave Todd. Todd was a good trader.
And he'd reload his account. He'd reload his account. He'd come in. He would short AOL, and he'd lose another $5,000. And you know what? He ended up being right. He ended up being upright.
But it kept going up and up and up and up. And you know what? You could be doing that in Tesla, and you might end up being right. And maybe Tesla eventually implodes. I don't know if it's going to or not. But right now, the trend is absolutely not your friend. I mean, I've said, you know, Tesla's crazy. So what am I doing going along? Because the trend is your friend. And the thing goes up 200 yesterday, and you got people just, oh, did you see the move in Tesla? The 2-day move, you know, that I talk about. That's a little bit of why I was buying Tesla yesterday, too, at the close. I'm like, it's probably going to get jacked again because people are going to go home. They're going to see, or they're going to, you know, be paying attention. They're going to come in. They're going to want to buy it because it went up 150 points yesterday. And that's what they do. They chase. So I chased it to a certain extent, too. I've already sold it. But I mean, this is the way this market is right now. Eventually it turns. Eventually there's some, you know, wicked sell-off in some of these stocks. But then maybe that sell-off just gets bought. We don't know where we are. We don't know if we are in 1999 or 2000 or 1996, because I wasn't in the markets in 1996, but I bet it was the same thing. Like my stocks just ripping. Because I know when I was trading retail 97 to 98, everybody thinks you're a genius. I'm like, I'm coming in here, I'm in university, I'm buying this stock, I'm making 20% on it a day. It's like I made $1,000 on this, I made $1,000 on that. I feel like a hero. And you know what? I didn't know what I was doing in 97 to 98, but the market was awesome. The market was going straight up. The NASDAQ went from like whatever it was, 1,500 to 5,000 over the course of a number of years. So if you were buying any tech stock, you were making money. You didn't have to know what you were doing because you were just making money. Eventually, though, it came and got you and bit you in the ass in 2001. And we've talked about that. Obviously, NASDAQ falling 81%. A lot of tech stocks going off the board. So in certain stocks, we are definitely, we don't know if we're 97, we don't know if we're 98, 99. But I would say don't fight the trend. I mean, there's no sense being short Tesla yesterday at the close because they're going to come and buy the next day. Eventually, that's not going to happen. I don't know when the party ends. It's a hot potato. Party will end, but it's been an unbelievable party.
All right, we got 4 minutes.
And we're going to get
here,
Kenny on too.
8:30.
Kenny's trading the same way. Kenny gets on those momos, and Kenny's making some money doing it.
He's
Kenny
short Walmart.
He knows how to get out well though too. Like he knows when to get out. So we're going to get Kenny on. Same strategies. Just riding the momentum. And you know what? It's working. It's been working for a long time.
Let's just wrap up with the earnings and just go to Kohl's quickly, and then we can preview TJX tomorrow. But Kohl's, same story. A bit of a lower bar to clear, but they did clear it. They lost 25 cents per share last quarter versus an 83-cent loss estimate. Sales 3.4 versus 3.09 billion dollars. So beat on a low bar for Kohl's, and then maybe TJX trading in sympathy because they report tomorrow morning.
They hate Kohl's.
Yes.
I used to own Kohl's. I hate Kohl's as well.
I love the store.
I love the store, but the stock is just hated. It's hated. And it's been a nice little rally, a 20% rally in a three weeks in this thing. But you know what? It's just the stock that's not sexy. It's a stock that's brick and mortar. It's a stock that's not selling a lot of stuff online. I mean, they've went to the extreme that, they're doing Amazon return. Is it an Amazon returns they do at Kohl's?
Yeah. Yep.
Just to try to get online shoppers into the store. So, I mean, that's a little bit desperation tactics here. I mean, Nordstrom, Kohl's, Dillard's. Yes, Dillard's had a nice run too, but these are not the kind of stocks that are going to rip higher. I mean, look at Dillard's. It had the good report. It was up 5 points 2 days ago on their earnings. Look where it is. Gave it all back. They don't want to own these stocks. They don't want to own anything with a PE under 10. They don't want to own anything of value. I mean, Ford, even General Motors throw it in there. Yes, GM had a good day yesterday because they can maybe do they're talking spin off on some EV stuff. I don't know what, if they're going to do that or not, and maybe extract some value, but Ford cannot catch a break. You can pile these stocks all in the same area. And the reopening trade, which was hot for about a week and a half, has just simmered right out. I mean, Boeing is back down. LUV, airlines, cruise lines are all coming right back down again. So, one of two things is happening. They just aren't sexy enough to keep the Momo going. Or maybe, we're not going to be getting this reopening going as smoothly as possible. And that's why we're piling back in all the tech stocks that we know work in any environment. So, but the reopening trade, which was really hot a week ago, has cooled right off.
You know why Kohl's, I don't like Kohl's?
No, I don't.
Because I don't know. I think if this is last summer, maybe it was last summer, 2 summers ago, I'm like, I need some shorts. And Lisa's like, Kohl's has great shorts and they're really economical. And I'm like, okay. So I go to Kohl's and I buy 2 pairs of shorts. All right. I've already got rips in them. It's poor quality. Their stuff is cheap, but it's poor quality.
Well, it depends on the brand. They have the higher end brands.
It's poor quality. Too. My shorts should last me 5 to 10 years. I got Kohls, I got North Faces.
Joel, you exercise really hard in though. You're swimming and running and doing all these Peloton stuff. What do you expect?
No.
My
These are like
shorts
dress
could last
shorts.
5 years because I just
weren't workout shorts. No, that's why I don't like Kohl's. I just think they have poor quality stuff. But anyways, Walmart is in the red now by a stick, folks. It's down $1 at 134.60. Katie barred the door on this one.
You got people caught in this.
What a turnaround here in Walmart.
And they're like, how is this down on a day that they blow it away. You know why? Because earnings don't matter.
So when I came in this morning, I saw it up. I was stunned.
It had run.
I was stunned to see it up, and then that didn't last long.
The stock was $117 a month ago. It got to $144. You know how big a move that is for Walmart? This is Walmart. Again, we're going on the same thing, but if you're buying up at 144, 143, honestly,
what do you want?
You deserve to lose your money.
Yeah.
Because you're just chasing the hell out of something that's already been chased. You can't make money. So it's a hard lesson. The best lessons for you and for all the rookies is, you don't learn anything making money. Nobody learns when they make money. They learn when they lose money. That's how I've learned, that's how I learned to trade and be consistent, with my day trading, is by losing money, by doing things wrong. And then you start to analyze, when the risk is high and you stay away from those situations and you put yourself into low risk situations. People say, well, you put yourself into Tesla yesterday. That's a high risk stock. But was it really? I'm riding momentum. I'm riding the hot story. So the odds were probably that Tesla was going to open higher this morning. I'm just playing the odds. And I'm not coming in here and betting, all my wealth on Tesla. I'm taking a speculative bet that I think it's going to open up again tomorrow with actually, I did put a full size position on, but I mean, but still, normally I put like a half size, something like that. I just felt pretty good about it. So it's all about risk management more than anything, this game, and analyzing those lower risk situations. But you learn by losing. And right now, everybody who's been in this market is winning. And they think they've got to figure it out. Oh, I make money. I'm really good at this. Are you really good at it? Or is it 1999 and you're just, at a situation where you've been benefiting from the up market? I know I'm pretty good at it because I trade market neutral. I'm hedged. So I'm extracting alpha because I'm not flat out long the market. I am in my long-term portfolio, which I said I didn't even do that well. I'll be honest. I don't think I'm a great investor. I think I'm a really good trader though. So it's a different animal. But we're going to Kenny on 2 minutes. Joel, what are your thoughts here? Walmart goes red. Home Depot is trying to go red on really good reports.
You asked me what I think now? I'm done. I'm done tweeting.
Joel already thought. He thought sell, and he was right.
I thought sell. And I mean, now Walmart, I don't have time to drill in and do my daily numbers for it. And I could give you some levels, but you'd have to pay for it. I can't tell you. Let's see here. If you want to look at it, the most important number in Walmart, it's 134. Because if you lose 134, 133.85 was the low from yesterday, then everybody that made money buying this thing all this time up, even the last couple of weeks, is going to be losing money. And people don't like to lose money. So we just hit.
What's the catalyst? Stop for a second. What's the catalyst to drive it higher now?
I have no idea.
The whole good report in there. You have, you had the whole run up. You've got, we've got, the Amazon, competing Prime, whatever they call it, and maybe they're going to announce that again and get another lift from that. But what's the catalyst to drive this story?
Maybe holiday season in a few months.
Yeah, in a few months.
Yeah,
in a few months.
In a few months, yeah.
There's no catalyst to just take this back up to 144 today, in my opinion.
Maybe another pandemic?
I think the stock goes lower than where it is right now, 134.7. It's just my thoughts. I think it actually could go down to the 130 area. Maybe not today, but the next couple of days, I think people are caught in this. They just chased it. They've chased a good earnings report. Straight 4 million shares, probably 2 million of them, maybe 3 million of them have bought it above the close, 135.60. All those people are like, oh, and people who bought yesterday people who bought calls, and they're like, well, Walmart's going to kill it. And it's down today, and they're scratching their head. How can it be down? Crowded trades, 101. That's why it's down.
Well, also, maybe Joel's right. If we, God forbid, have to go back into lockdown, everyone's going back online and online shopping.
But that isn't happening today. That isn't happening tomorrow. I'm saying, what's a catalyst to just take us back up to 140 today? Everybody changes their mind.
Can I just make one comment here before we bring in Kenny? Amazon had that just amazing report, right? They beat like by $9 or something, and it didn't even go back up to its all-time high. How is Amazon? How can it not go back? Did it make all-time high? When were earnings on this? But it had the most incredible.
No, it never touched it. It never went through the 30. CC on the show said $3,200, and he was right. That's right where it went to.
Yeah.
And it was a good pop, but it still can't get through that area. And it's through it a little bit here this morning. The only thing going for Amazon, which could start to move, is that potential for, people think, oh, it's $3,000 stock could split. And we've had the Apple run on the split, the Tesla run on the split. So that's why Nvidia's running. Don't kid yourself. And it's why Nvidia's blasted off. People are, potentially thinking that it could split. So you have this whole split trade going on. That's why you're seeing CMG, Chipotle made new all-time highs yesterday, breaking out. Why does that keep going? $1,200 stock. People are thinking it might split. Well, so you have that might split trade on these high-price stocks.
Yeah, didn't Kramer suggest?
Yeah, he did. He's pumping the tires on all those things. He's right. They could split. It doesn't make any sense. Like he says, you break the pencil in half. You don't have two pencils. You still have one pencil just broken in half.
Come on, Kenny.
But the market doesn't care about that.
Dennis,
all right, we're bringing Kenny on. Kenny Glick.
The Warlock is ready to rock.
Hit thebid.com. Kenny, good morning. We're fired up.
You guys, what's up? You're talking about splits like they're not making the company more valuable. If you split the pencil in half, now you've got two pencils. Now you've got much more good stuff going on. Listen, the whole premise when I was on your show years ago about Tesla going to 1,000 was that eventually they're going to split it, make it cheaper so people could afford it, and it's going to run the stock. So now is this comparable to 1999? This is 1999. But I'm going to say the key phrase that we heard so much. This time it's different, but you got to say something. This time is a little different. You have a government printing money, sending it to your home and saying, wait, you want to buy food with this? Wait, you still got to buy Tesla first and some QQQ. Then you can buy food and pay your rent. That's what's going on because you didn't read the fine print on the check. It said you had to buy Tesla and the Qs and pick any other tech stock. But it's incredible. What's going on, boys?
The party continues. Tesla's up another 70. I mean, they're thinking 1907. Why isn't it going to 2000? I mean, it's went this far. I mean, why isn't it going to 2000?
Right.
I can't think of a reason why it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was hoping that they would save some of this run till after the split, but you're right about Amazon. They're going to announce a split. You're right about all this stock. At least that's what's going to save the market because people are going to pile in when these get cheaper, not exit them when they have more shares. The idea is like, all right, so now I've got 400 shares of Tesla instead of 100. I'm going to sell the other 300. That's some people's mindset, but I don't look at it that way, especially in a bull market. So it's a free for all. And if your stock's not up 200-300%, maybe even 1,000, overstock has opened my eyes now. If I'm ever in a winning trade, and I'm not a big swing trader or an investor right now, but if I'm ever in a swing in a trade that's going my way, I'm not going to sell unless it's up 1,000%. And that's what Grow Dog's all about. This GRWG.
Unbelievable.
I'm in this thing at 5. I get my 750. I'm a seller. I get to $10. I'm like, look at me, $10. This is awesome. And it goes to 20 3 days later. Come on. And then you get Rocket Mortgage, which is the biggest piece of turd that's ever come out onto this market.
Oh, okay.
So somebody wants to fight me about why I hate the stock so much. How can you come out and go down in this market?
The stock's been 2 weeks old. How can you hate stock at 2 weeks old?
You know what? I'm kind of scared on this one too. And I bought it and I sold it. I did sell my Rocket. I sold it after the earnings because I was like, if they're not going to rally it on that good earnings report, I don't want it. So I cut the loss and I moved on. And you're right, Kenny. Like if it's not performing when the market's going straight up, what's going to drive it? And it's hanging out here. And you have Kramer. It's up here this morning because Kramer pumped the tires and said, Rocket's too cheap. You got to buy Rocket here. And it was 1904 and it was 1970, 10 seconds after Kramer said that because they have all the Kramer bots that buy it up. And that's why it's trading up here 50 cents again. If it doesn't hold the gains today after Kramer pumped the tires big time on the stock last night on Mad Money, major concerns. So I actually have sold my Rocket because I don't like the way it's performing. I might be wrong. Maybe it's going to start hot again and maybe I'll get back in, but it's not acting the way I want a momentum stock to act.
Exactly. So why not just wait? I bought Select Quote. The stock did nothing, so I had to bail out of it. If it ever starts to rally, I'll get back in. Just like Rocket Mortgage. If this thing breaks 1750, it's going to 15. Then it's going to 10, and then no one's going to even talk about this thing. It'll be a $3 stock, and nobody will care. But one day, if it does break out and get over that 25, 27, momentum will kick in, and it'll probably go to 50 like the rest of these stocks. But why bother with any stock that's not ripping like Tesla? I know there's only one Tesla and there's only one QQQ and a few handful of stocks are out of control. But if you're not at least enjoying a rally. The way I've been looking at this thing is just like 1999. If your stock doesn't go up at least once every 3 days, you got a terrible stock, especially in this market. So if you have a stock that sells off on an earnings report and goes negative, that's the warning sign beyond the warning signs. You got to dump it. It's awful. And if it becomes back, buy it again. But right now, there's 10,000 other opportunities out there.
This momentum, this Robinhood trade just keeps moving. This retail trade keeps moving around, and it's going to chase performance. And you're exactly right, Kenny. When you start to see, and you're in your stock, and it's not going up, and everything else is going up, and you're like, well, my stock is going to play catch up. Right. The catch up trade hardly works. It's usually that your stock's going to lead the charge when the market turns on the downside.
Exactly right. If you're bucking the trend, and that's not a good buck,
not in this market.
You suck. How about that for a rhyme?
About why don't we bring up this to keep this rant going? How about old tech?
Garbage. It's been so bad. Intel, Cisco, WDC, Micron. The party continues to the downside for these stocks. They have not been good.
By the way, I sold my Grow Dog just now, 1771.
Have you just said you weren't going to sell?
Well, I mean, it's rolling over. I had to get out a little bit, but I love the Walmart type trades. I like a gap up that fails and starts to roll over. That's an easy day trade for me.
So how are you playing Walmart?
It was just a short, once it broke under the VWAP, and then it tried to get back above it 137 and change. It rolled over. I shorted 137, caught a little bit of that action on the way down. But, Grow Dog, as much as I love this stock over the last couple of days, just sold it because it's fading away on this gap.
You know why I think you should sell it too? It was pumped on Kramer last night.
Oh, no.
Pumped on Mad Money.
Oh,
it was featured on Mad Money. That's why it's trading up 8%. So here's the trade. Gets announced that it's going to be on Mad Money. The stock's at 14. It runs to 16 because it's going to be on Mad Money. Then it runs another $2 because it's on Mad Money. I mean, that's the sign. That's the sign usually when the top happens is when they start getting featured on major media. That's when everybody is already knows about it now, and they're coming in and buying it. And that's why something like Grow. Could it continue? It could, but how does it get better than that? It was the same story with Fleur. We were trading that for a while, and we were in that. And I actually still have a little bit of shares in the long-term portfolio, which I wish I didn't have. But I mean, it ran from like 38 to 48, and then it got featured on Fast Money, and it's been straight down ever since. So, I mean, when these stocks start getting in major media coverage, everybody all of a sudden, the masses are now in. And that's usually when the trade gets crowded and goes the other way. So I'd be nervous just in Grow Generation because it was featured on Mad Money last night.
Yeah, plus the fact that it was a $5 stock.
It's run so far. And now you get this perfect setup where featured on Mad Money, that's a topping event right there.
But you want to see, we're still in the heat of irrational exuberance, right? When you have a stock like Kodak, which was obviously a government intervention short squeeze that needs to be investigated by the SEC. There needs to be a real investigation.
They are.
If we were
not into Kodak, into the government.
If we were in a bear market right now, we'd still be talking about this Kodak move. But because we're in a market that never goes down and everybody's making money, nobody cares. Yeah. No one's going to investigate Kodak. Bear market, whole different ball game. There'd be class action suits. I mean, there are going to be class action suits, but they would be more of a stink about what just transpired in that Kodak stock. Because three months from now, they're going to reinvent themselves as a new company. They'll probably get into weed. Why not grow some weed or do something else? I mean, what a joke. But if you
they already did it once, Kenny. They came in a blockchain.
They are investigating. Kodak is being investigated right now. That
right.
One is being
government. Why is Martha Stewart the only person ever got in trouble as far as insider trading?
They picked on Martha.
They made her a scapegoat. Let's go round up some people. I want to see some Charlie Sheen perp walks out of offices with guys sobbing. That's what I want. That's what needs to have happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're probably right.
What was that again? What was that? The Charlie Sheen curb walk?
Charlie Sheen when he's getting escorted out of the office at Wall Street, sobbing.
Okay.
All right, Kenny. Is there anything else on your radar here that besides GrowGen that you have traded or are trading today?
I'm with the Kool-Aid right now. I got NEO and KNDI. I like that they
man.
were both pumped, and now they're trying to find some love over the last couple of days. Candy broke back over 9. I was impressed, so I bought it when it broke 10. If it breaks back under 10, bye-bye. But Neo, I like this stock. It keeps pulling back. It keeps finding some love. We're only 2.5 points off all-time highs. If this thing could get back above that 16, there's no way this thing's not going to go to 20. But, I'm still loving the cues, I'm still looking for a reason this market actually could pull back. I think this was a week where, over in my career, these next 2 weeks, where they try to sneak a sell-off bias. The lack of buyers, they always call it. We don't see a lot of selling. There's just not a conviction on the buy side. This is those 2 weeks that normally that happens. So I'm kind of looking for some reason to sell, but there hasn't been one. The UVXY, the VIX keeps tanking. The Qs keep powering it up. You're gapping Tesla up 80 points, 70 points a day. There's really nowhere else to go. But the only other stock that I like that's been acting nicely is this company that nobody talks about, ADPT. Check it out. I got
how many symbols in that?
The old Adaptec symbol, as a matter of fact, ADPT.
Adaptive Biotechnologies.
Yes, interesting company.
Why this one?
This is a successful friend of mine. It's one of his top holdings. He's got me in at 20-something bucks, and so far so good. He's telling me this is the new Regeneron. So far so good. I guess 100% return in this market's not that
bad.
great. But
not great. 100% return.
You're underperforming,
Kenny. It's an underperformer, Kenny.
Bullshit. Yeah, I know. What the hell's going on here? But that's one of the, that stock, I just bought it. I bought a little bit, and then it ripped again. I had to buy it back because I want to own some of these stocks before they blast off into the 80s and 100s. But
what about gold? What about gold and silver and Bitcoin?
Oh man, I got gold so wrong, but I bought silver. I've been buying physical silver. I love coins, so I bought a ton of coins. But gold, I thought gold, I don't know why, but I just don't like gold. I don't know. For me, it was always a hedge. I grew up, knowing about it from the 70s and 80s. It was the flight to safety, and the market's ripping higher every day. Why would gold go up? And I was wrong. So I'll still stick to my target, $8.80 an ounce. No one's going to want to own gold. I like silver, but I do like silver.
Bitcoin?
I haven't looked at Bitcoin. I still have money somewhere in Ripple and Tron and Bitcoin. I don't even know which account I have. I think it's Binance.
I know. I know that. I know.
name.
I got some somewhere too, and I got to find a password. I do.
As far as new stocks, I have something that works every day. I've been buying the dip on the Qs. Check this out. I'm a VWAP trader, right? So even on the days where the QQQ was down, there's at least one moment during the day where it breaks VWAP and gets a little squeezy, right? It's basically 207 days in a row now that at one point in the day, you could buy the QQQ dip or the rip. There was one day where it just went straight up a couple of Mondays ago, which was ridiculous. I had never seen a move like that in the market. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 Mondays ago. We opened up and we just trickled higher for 8 straight hours. I had never seen anything like it. Not a pullback, not a blip. And that was the only day where you couldn't get a good entry on this thing. But if we're never going to go down, buy the stock that never goes down, especially on Fridays. Look what happened on Friday. We're sitting here meandering around. You could have bought those calls on the QQQ going into the close for pennies, and they went up. Again, this is not investing. I wouldn't even call it trading. That's just gambling on an idea that consistently works. So the QQQ going into the close on Friday, as a bear-ish kind of guy, I'm always expecting, nobody wants to hold stocks over the weekend. We'll sell off into the close. And we just never do. So I just joined the party. I was like, you know what? Let me drink the Kool-Aid. I'll buy some calls as a goof going into the close on the Qs, and they rip. And again, if they're near a strike price, 271.50 or 272, and you get to buy these options for a couple of pennies, and they go up 30 or 40 cents, that's 10 times your money in 5 minutes. So that's been a fun trade. I mean, it really is the Wild West again. It really is 1999. It really is.
Well, yeah, but the party didn't stop till 2000. So I guess we can
Well,
just
if it's 1997 is the problem, Kenny, the party could go on for 3 years yet. So we don't
I
really know we could be
completely
1997.
agree,
It was
yeah.
pretty good in 1997 too. It just capitulated, upside capitulation in 1999 when the
Right.
Nasdaq went from 4,000 to 5,000 in like a week.
Yeah. We also had that one sell-off, and then we tried to rally back, and we failed to break a new top. Then we rolled over. We haven't even got that moment yet. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to derail this market, but so far so good. But the next, we have to have a new fad soon because SPACs is kind of fading away now. So we need a new fad. What's going to be? We don't know yet.
we don't know. But when we find out, we'll have you on. Kenny Glick, hitthebid.com is his site. Thanks as always, Kenny.
Hey man, good seeing you guys. Good luck and be nimble.
Thanks,
right.
Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
All right, a couple more stocks here on our radar, then we'll go to the chat. Zoom Info, this is down this morning. They announced an offering this morning. The offering is coming from selling shareholders, so it's not coming, so that there's not going to be any dilution here, but it's coming from the Carlyle Group and a few other big holders, and they're selling 12,000 shares, which is, I'm sorry, 12 million shares, which is about 24% of the float.
Okay, let's listen to what Kenny just said. Your stock's not going up 20, 30%, in a market that's, just ripping higher. You're seeing this stock go up 10%, this stock going up 10%. You're looking at your stock and it's not going up. You're in the wrong stock. This Zoom Info topped out 4 days after, if we just go out and look, 4 days after the IPO at $64, and it's been straight down ever since. The trend is absolutely not your friend. You're trying to call a bottom on a stock that maybe doesn't want to have a bottom yet. So if it can't go up when everything else is going up, it's probably going to go down when everything starts going down. These catch-up trades typically don't work. So you're buying a weakness, and you may get lucky, and maybe there's a headline that turns it, or maybe there's something. But until it gets some momentum going to the upside, why be in it? Why be in Zoom Info? Because it says Zoom, because it's got Zoom in the name, and it's got to go up because it's got Zoom in the name. That hasn't worked so well for 2 months.
See, I maybe feel like we should clarify our statement of buy the dip, sell the rip. Buy the dip in the stocks that are
trending higher. I always say that.
Right.
Stock is we're buy the dip and sell the rip. It's not called buy the garbage. It's called stocks trending higher, I'm buying the dip. Stocks trending lower, I'm selling the rip. And, and you buy the dip and sell the rip, and you can scalp, as the stock's going up too. But I'm not selling, short the rip. I'll sell short stocks that rip higher that are trending down. Trend just are pesky. They continue in this market. What underperforms, the dogs continue to remain dogs for a long time, and the stocks that are just blasting off continue to blast off for a lot longer than we think they can blast off for. So when you get lucky enough, or you get smart enough to be in one of those good ones, you got to take what you can get. I mean, obviously, just coming in here and hoping Zoom Info is going to be the next stock to blast off, there's so much pain above you. There's so many people who are down money. That's the easy thing about when you're buying a stock at an all-time high. Everybody's up money. There's no natural sellers. Zoom Info, you have everybody that's been consolidating. So now you got an offering. And now, you have everybody that's bought it for the last few days thinking, oh, we're in a consolidation station of 40. And it's, those people are all caught too. And they have everybody from 45 and 50 and 55 and 60. They're all natural sellers. They want to get their money back because people don't like selling at a loss. Heaven forbid you sell at a loss. This isn't the kind of stock that just turns around on a dime because there's too much overhead supply, we call it. It's not the stock that I want to own. There's no reason, unless you've got something that you love this company and you've got a fundamental reason and you think 10 years from now it's going to be the company. But as a trade, you're coming in here now hoping it's going to turn. It didn't turn yesterday. It didn't turn the day before. It didn't turn a week ago. It didn't turn a month ago. It's been turning down, 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 down. Why is today going to be different?
I can't disagree with you on that one, Triple D. It took me a while to get the right symbol when you mentioned Zoom.
He's putting Zoom, ZM.
Yeah. 36.90, folks. Ooh, $2 away. That's what you have to lean on if you want to try along, and then you have the IPO low. But of course, the offering price is magnet price too, so keep an eye on that.
All right, let's go to the chat. I want to get to some tickers that are being tossed out. Someone mentioned Dropbox early on in the show, DBX. This is not one that we've talked about recently. If I hop into Pro, I don't think there's been many.
No, you want to know what the news is? And this is just showing you how this is just driven by retail traders now.
Yeah.
I was like, what is the news on Dropbox? Why is it trading up 4%? And then somebody said, some person who's widely followed, some swing trader on YouTube, posted a video about it last night. I'm not sure who it was. And he's got like 50,000 followers. And he posted why you got to buy Dropbox now. And the stock, and that was the reason. That there was multiple people talking about it. So I'm pretty sure that is the reason, because some YouTube video was out there from some person that's got a lot of following. And, you know, it's crazy, but retail is just so hungry and they're running around. And, you know, that's why you see a stock pops on fast money and it pops right away. I mean, RWG, going back to that one, the only reason it was up that much yesterday was because Kramer said it was going to be on. 14.95 was, you know, when he said it in the morning, it ran all day. And then it ran up even more once it was on there. And Kramer's, you know, on there, and he brings the CEO on, and, you know, they're pumping the tires, and the CEO is pumping the tires, and everybody's pumping the tires. So, you know, could it continue? Yeah, if you're shorting this, it's hard. I mean, but topping events, we've said before, are often when, you know, their stocks run 100% and then ends up on CNBC.
What about that NAT? Remember that NAT?
That was a top. That was absolute top. When the CEO came on CNBC, the stock went to $8. That's the next day. If you go look at your calendar, you can see it. Stock went to $9 the next day because the CEO was on there. It was an awesome interview. It was so funny. You know, the guy, like, we're raking it in like this. That's when the top was. The CEO was literally saying, we're raking it in. That's a topping event. Stock's $4 now. So, I mean, you know, not always CEOs are going to be, you know, that. They're usually pretty professional. But I'll tell you, last night, that Grow Generation CEO was using a lot of buzzwords. There was a lot of like, oh, with this customer, and then he was using all the fun buzzwords. It was really and as he kept talking, the stock kept going higher. A lot of people chased that last night. A lot of people chased that.
We should mention that they also increased their guidance. So there was like a fundamental catalyst.
When? Did they have earnings that day? Yesterday?
Yeah, they had when
were the earnings?
They had earnings on Thursday, so they like last Thursday. So
yeah, Thursday of last week. So that was this catalyst to get the party started. But yesterday was all mad money. I mean, all mad money. A smaller stock, pot stock, hot. You know, retail followed. It's going to be on CNBC. There's no coincidence that it had its big move and it's up another 2 points. Like, it was all mad money. Don't kid yourself. It is very influential. People watch that. And when you get like something like Pfizer featured on Mad Money, it's not going to move. It's not sexy. It's not a story. It's got to be sexy. So when you have these sexy stocks end up on CNBC, everybody's like, oh, that's a good story. I got to go buy that right away. That's what's happening. And those are the ones that really go when the story is sexy. You know, you don't see, you know, a lot of times they talk about, you know, MasterCard, they talk lots of different, the banks, you know, how many times they talk about the banks all the time on CNBC. They don't move. Those aren't sex. Nobody's jumping out. I got to go buy JP Morgan because somebody mentioned on CNBC, but this Grow Generation, it's a hot story. So that's why you often see these stocks run up into those if they know it's going to be on. And you do see them sometimes top out. I don't know if it's going to top out today. I don't know where it's going to top out, but I would not be buying Grow Generation because I've seen this story play out before. It could go to 20. It could go to, we don't know. It's at all-time highs. But just be careful because once the masses all know about it, who's your next buyer to pump it up higher?
That was a good one. I should mention that Grow Generation has been at several Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference, and we have some investor decks on our site.
I have no problem with the company. It's just run a long way. The stock's doubled in 3 days, more than doubled.
I'm going back to the chat here. Someone dropped in Square. I mentioned this yesterday. Dan Loeb, his hedge fund, took a new stake in Square. They disclosed that yesterday morning.
Wow.
Sexy story, hot as hell. I know I sold it wrong, but I've been trading it whenever I can to the long side, bias to the long side. It starts breaking over 160. You start thinking this could eventually go to 200. I mean, it could. I'm not saying it's going to. And remember, everything can turn on a dime. And you've got to be careful when you're chasing all these tech trades, you know, and somebody's saying, oh, well, how do you know where Tesla's going? Well, you don't know. But there's no reason. I don't see like the imminent fear here all of a sudden. It can change. Something can catalyst. If Tesla all of a sudden has a red day, that's when, you know, I'd be concerned if I was riding this trend. I don't want to see this thing go up 100 points and then close red. Those are turning event days. We haven't had one of those for Tesla. Square, it's the same story. I mean, the stock went down after it had the big pop off earnings, consolidated, filled the gap, and now it's starting to go higher again. And actually, I wish we were talking about it yesterday because it was setting up pretty good. Then it had the big move, all the tech stocks running. So I don't see any reason to be short this. I'll say that much. Stock's been hot. It was up 10 points yesterday. Could it go up another 10? If the Qs start going and the market starts going, it'll lead the way. If the market starts to roll over, then, you know, these are stocks that obviously that's going to come out from them faster.
I got a good number for you.
Yeah, give it to me.
154. The reason is that that's not the all-time high. That was your all-time closing high on August 6th. That day it stalled. The next trading day it stalled at 53.84. And just yesterday, it stalled at 53.68. So be patient. Wait for another close here above that all-time closing high and make another run at 158.43 and beyond.
I mean, PayPal is similar. Is PayPal going to run again? You know, similar setup. It ran a little bit yesterday. It's probably got 200 on the brain. It's probably going to charge new highs. PayPal and Square trade together. You put those two charts, they pair up pretty well together. I've traded those two stocks together for years. I see Square earnings, PayPal move off that. PayPal earnings, Square move off that. Those are two. It's not Lowe's, Home Depot where they're identical, but they do follow each other very closely. PayPal, Square, good pairs trade.
Because they're the only ones that do digital payments for now. All right, Dennis, you're going to like tomorrow's guest. His name is Lawrence Black. He runs a site called the Index Standard, and he provides ratings on indexes and benchmarks. So,
cool.
You know, for your index arb, traders out there, you're going to like that. He's going to give us some insight into why certain indexes behave in certain ways, and we'll talk all about that on tomorrow's show. For all the tickers we didn't get to in the chat this morning, Joel and I will try to cover more of them at our 3:40 show. Same location, youtube.com/Benzinga TV. I love seeing those likes. Hit that. Oh, there we go. 125 likes. Hit that.
Look, I liked it too.
Oh,
I even liked my own show. I just liked it.
Thank you.
I never like it. I liked it today.
Thanks for the likes. Hit that subscribe button as well. We appreciate that. You can always email us and we will respond. I promise. Well, usually. PreMarket@Benzinga.com. Joel is at Spoos on Twitter, SPUS. Dennis is at Triple D Trader. I'm at SJ Israel. Thanks to our guest, Kenny Glick. Please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a great rest of your Tuesday. Stay safe.